What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome to a discussion on EA Play. First of which, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I would love to see come out of this event, and then what I expect to see, and then the reality at the end of it, essentially. So let's talk about the first of which is going to be the game modes of Pro Clubs. That is not necessarily a game mode close to my heart. I don't play it pretty much ever. I might have like 3 or 4 drop-in games throughout the entire life cycle of that game just to see if they've done anything, which 9 times out of 10 they haven't. In fact, I don't think they've touched Pro Clubs since about 98. I don't think they've ever touched it. I think they released it whatever FIFA it was in first, and I don't think they've touched it since. It's a shame for the people who use Pro Clubs, and it's a shame for the esport as well, because Ultimate Team Esport is getting bigger. It's getting slightly better, but there's only so much they can do with it. There's no talking, there's no banter or anything like that within that sort of environment. It's very high pressure. You get a lot of yes and no and walking off stage and stuff like that, but you don't get any sort of chit chat back and forth to each other. They don't even sit opposite each other anymore. They're actually quite a distance away with their sort of backs to each other. So you definitely won't get any banter. But with Pro Clubs, if there was 5-on-5, then you'd get a lot of talking between the players. Maybe one of them makes a mistake, the other 4 get on his back, and then that's pressure. It's interesting, and that kind of stuff really would drive the esport forward, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be happening. As far as Pro Clubs is concerned, though, I don't really expect to see anything from EA this year again. I think they're going to neglect it once more, which again is a massive shame. I'd like to know what the Pro Clubs players think out there, though. If you watch, or rather if you play Pro Clubs, I should say, then let me know what you'd like to see in Pro Clubs. It would be very interesting to see if maybe there's some sort of tournament mode they could add, or extra customization for players. There's various things I know they can add. It's just a question of whether they will and what you want to see. So let me know in the comment section. It'd be interesting to see. Next up is career mode. Now in career mode, they have made some improvements. To their credit, FIFA 18's career mode was far better than any other career mode they've ever released. They added the interaction where you went into the boardroom and you were talking to the opposition player and manager and things like that about discussing contracts and stuff. I like that a lot. What I didn't like necessarily was when I would go into certain negotiations and I wouldn't have a clue how much this guy wanted as a contract. So for instance, you know, I'm going in there and I'm trying to sign Marco Reus, okay? I've got no idea how much this guy is on. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, right? Maybe there's a way of finding out, but I didn't know how much money a week he was on. So I'd go in there and I'd offer him like 120,000, and the agent would be outraged at such a low offer and walk out, and it wouldn't even give me a chance to sort of renegotiate it. It was a nightmare. I didn't know what was going on. You could delegate that, of course, but then what's the point in the cutscene and all that stuff they've added in if you're just going to delegate it? So I'd like to be able to do it myself. I just wanted to know how much I should be offering. That's one thing that annoyed me. The other thing is, of course, that you can't add in extra bonuses like goal. You can add in like a goal bonus or something like that, but you can't add in appearance fees and then after time give him a bonus. And basically I want as much of Football Manager stripped out of that into FIFA as possible, but not any of the clunky stuff. I don't want it to be a long, arduous process to sign a player necessarily, but on the other hand, I want more options as well. Career mode has so much potential. They could quite easily bring in the Sky Sports team to do cutscenes for them. They could update them throughout the year and release an extra 20, 30 a month. It wouldn't be that difficult, and then it would give us a much more diverse career mode where you would unlikely see the same cutscene twice in a season, which would be really nice. But again, will they do it? I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. New kits as well is another thing. Now, licensing would restrict this slightly, but there is a way around it. They could quite easily keep the sponsor and the badge and everything, but they just generate a custom kit with the sponsor and with the logo, and the, like say for instance, the kit manufacturer Nike would be on the opposite side, the badge would be in the middle, the Nike tick up there, whatever. They just generate a different one and maybe a slightly different shade of red, the stripes are at a different place. You could maybe do 3 different generations and you've got like 3 options of kit to choose, and then you choose which one you want, and then that in turn then is it goes on sale, of course. So if you choose the one that is the most ugly, it won't sell as many, but if you choose the really nice pretty one, it will sell more. So but then you have to decide which one you think is the best one. That would be awesome. That's like a little mini game within it, and it's giving you something extra. It's a new kit to play in as well. Wouldn't be that difficult to do because it's just computer generated. You're not moving things around yourself. Why can't they add that in? That would be brilliant. A lot of people say Stadium Editor I don't personally understand the point of it, but if you want, and a lot of people do seem to want it for whatever reason, then fine. Why not add it in? It can't be that difficult. They own a plethora of other games that have that sort of dynamic in it, sort of sim-related games that have that building block format. They could easily just sort of strip the bare mechanics of that, throw it into FIFA, and I can't imagine it would be that difficult to do, especially with a team the size of what EA have at their disposal. But, like I said, I don't think it's that important personally, but if you guys want to see it, what other things can they add into career mode that you would like to see? There's so much more now, and with the Champions League potential package coming as well, they could definitely add a lot more in, and I'm sure that that's going to take up a lot of their time, unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time. They're going to have to add in all the music and all the effects, and on the big European nights, especially with the famous stadiums, I think, obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm going to say this, but Liverpool's atmosphere in Champions League games is electric. They're going to have to try and recapture that, which is going to be difficult to do, but different from a league game as well. And it's the same for Barcelona, Madrid, and all the rest of it as well. So that's a lot of work, but I'm sure they can add in some more things. What would you like to see? Let me know down below. And of course, what we finally come to is Ultimate Team. Oh, I could go on for days about the things I'd like to see in Ultimate Team, but ultimately, what I'd like to see is, just 3 simple things. There may probably more than 3, but if they would just add 3 simple things, it would make the experience so much more enjoyable for me, and here we go. First of which, they need to have another look, and they need to completely rejig chemistry. Chemistry has been a mess since day one. It doesn't make any sense, and it needs to be scrapped. And it's something that I've said for at least 4 years. It's driving me insane that they won't take a look at this. In fact, I've been saying it since FIFA 13. The end of FIFA 13, when I was doing my FIFA 14 wish list, that is when I started saying it. And I've been saying it every year since. I'm starting to get blue in the face from it. My opinion of chemistry is very much what PES have done. And again, I was saying it before PES even did it, right? Not that they stole my idea, but I'm just saying progressive chemistry. This is something that needs to be implemented. So, for instance, if I'm playing Neymar and Gabriel Jesus up front together, right? They get a soft link of chemistry. Makes sense. They're both Brazilian. If I'm playing Gabriel Jesus and David Silva in the same team, they get a link because they play for the same team in real life. Same goes for Gabriel Jesus and Firmino. No, not Firmino, someone else. James Milner, because they're in the same league. However, if I played Cavani and James Milner, there wouldn't be any link there. Rightfully so, but over time they should develop a link because they're playing with each other in the game. So they can determine this however they want. 10 games and you get a link, or 30 games you get a link, 50 games you get a link. I don't care how many games it takes, but you should be able to play a team with Aubameyang, Cavani, Ibra, and Keylor Navas in the same team together, and I should be able to build my chemistry over time. That is something that I've wanted for God knows how long, that wouldn't be that difficult to do. PES already have it, and it means you could actually do what the title says. I could then build my ultimate team, because right now I can't do that because I'm restricted by chemistry. Another thing I'd like to see is unlockables. Now, unlockables is something that they kind of have been doing, but I want to see it on a bigger scale. So at the moment, they've got like weekly objectives, and it's only through certain promos as well, like Team of the Season, for instance. If you win 6 games of Daily Knockout Tournament, you win a Team of the Season defender. Brilliant, right? However, how awesome would it be if you had, 10 players at the beginning of FIFA, you log onto it for the first time, you load up Ultimate Team, you open your starter packs and all that rubbish, and then you go into a section next to SBCs known as unlockables, right? You go in, there's 10 different players in there. Maybe there's 3 different versions of that player, but for instance, a yellow Wayne Rooney with black spots and a purple trim, right? And he's 90 rated, he's got a Man United badge, or maybe he's got a generic badge, like an icon that links with everyone. Who knows? It's all untradeable, right? It's all hypothetical as well. You can only get it if you unlock it. You have to score 500 goals with Manchester United players. You have to play 250 games, and you could only do this all online. I don't know, whatever. That's just off the top of my head. But like that kind of thing. It's not something you're going to be able to unlock that day. Not even something you're going to be able to unlock that week. Maybe something that you might take until Christmas to do. However, something that you can build and work towards. And that's just one player. you know, you've got another 9. Maybe they add 30 players in there. Who knows? Maybe they add some every now and again as well. It gives you something to work towards. I see a lot of people out there who in the first week of FIFA will open up some packs, get a bit of luck, get some decent coins together, get the team that they want, and start playing. And then after a couple of weeks, they're like, I don't really have anything to play for until they release a new promo. What if you had something to work towards, something to unlock within the game? That would give you a purpose to play it, you know? So, for instance, you take a week and a half to 2 weeks to unlock that Wayne Rooney, right? Bang, I've got it. Happy days. Oh, there's another 9 players to go. Oh, there's a special icon Ronaldinho on that list. Don't mind if I do. Ronaldinho's still available to get in packs, but it's a different Ronaldinho, you know? It's a Cam Ronaldinho from whatever year, when he used to play for whatever team, Barca for instance, and it's a certain rating. Maybe it's one better than the icon you can buy, or maybe it's one worse than the icon you can buy, but it's far easier to unlock than saving up 1.5 million coins. There's loads of different things they could do with it. You know, they could put I'm using loads of Man United players here, but maybe they could put a prime Carrick in there. I know he's retired now, but you know, they've got the licensing for it. It wouldn't be that difficult to renegotiate. They could just put like an 87 rated Carrick in there. Untradeable, only you can get him if you unlock him, and then bang. And then again, there's other things they can do. When you first start off the game, maybe you get one player to choose from, not the best of players at all. Maybe they're a championship player, maybe they're a low Premier League player, French League player, whatever. And it's untradeable, it's a different colour to everything else, but it's dynamic. So what happens is, as you complete certain objectives with that card, they get better. Their overall goes up. Their stats increase. It's a little bit like, again, PES have done this. And PES have a lot of good qualities within their My Club mode. Apparently they're changing it all as well. I'm actually quite excited to see what they do with that. But they have a lot of good things that EA really need to just have a look at and go, do you know what, we're going to just take all of that and put it in. I mean, they took My Club or the Ultimate Team mode, so it's only fair that EA go in and swoop all the good stuff from it. But if in PES you get an 83 rated Iniesta, you can upgrade that Iniesta until he's like 93 rated. You know, you just need to keep putting time and effort into it. Every game he plays, he gets points, and you can also burn players to give him their life force, essentially, and then they get boosted from the players that you sort of burn into it. It's very FIFA Mobile-esque as well, because that's exactly how it works in FIFA Mobile. I wouldn't necessarily want that in FIFA, but I'd like maybe one player that I could do that with, but not burning players into him. Maybe it's just, you know, objectives that you can unlock. It would be so cool. Score 200 goals. Oh, his finishing's gone up by 3 or 4 points. He's now an 82 rated player. He started off at 75. It's kind of like the pro thing that they had in 09. That was amazing when I had that. You had your pro in Ultimate Team, and you could boost him as high as you wanted. You just needed to go through it as if it was pro clubs while using that card. It would be so cool if they added that pro black back in. I don't think they will, unfortunately, but it would be good if they did, and only online games counted, so people couldn't boost offline, and online friendlies didn't count, so you can't boost with your mate. That would be brilliant. But hey, you know, will they do that? Probably not. Very briefly before I leave you, I think again, another thing I'd like to see maybe is a different way of qualifying for the Weekend League, and then just a complete overhaul to the Weekend League. I'm not going to sit here and say what I'd like to see, because to be fair, I don't really know what I want to see. I just want to see a big overhaul, because 40 games a weekend is not enough. They need to extend it, in my opinion, till at least Monday evening, and the qualification process needs to be very much like the World Cup mode. Instead of having a group of 4 teams and the top 2 go through, I think it should be a group of, say, 6 teams and the top 2 go through. That would make it much more enjoyable to play, because you're looking at the leaderboard, you're thinking, I could get a point here and I can go through and I can qualify. That's what they need. No knockout rounds or anything like that. Because, I mean, winning 4 games in a row is the equivalent of going Gold 1. That is... I mean, for a lot of people, that's out of their reach. You know, Gold 1 is that's something that they aspire to get. A lot of people will be happy to settle for Gold 3, maybe even Silver 1 some weeks. They need to make that a bit more fair, in a way, for people to go through. And again, less than 20 games. What do you want to see from Ultimate Team? Personally, I don't think we're going to see anything from Ultimate Team at EA Play. I think we'll see Ronaldo breathing heavily over a free kick. and him eventually, after we've seen loads of other clips of people sliding in and rain and dynamic weather and faces of players and things like that, he will eventually hit his top bins and go, ooh, you know, that's inevitable. That's what we're going to see. We're probably not going to see anything from any mode apart from their golden mode, which is Journey, which I would say probably 6% of us actually care about. I've played through the Journey Season 1, I've done Season 2, but it took me nearly most of the year to do it. And I will play through Season 3 because I am interested in the story, but it's not something that I load up straight away and rush to do. It's something that I'll play for 20 minutes every now and again, just to see what it's about. It would be nice if we could add more customization to the Journey. Whether we will or not, well, we'll get it, I don't know. But I think that's what they're going to do. They'll show off gameplay, it'll be CGI and all that rubbish, and then they might mention the Journey, and that's pretty much all we're going to get. But I digress. We might see something else. Hopefully, EA just go, do you know what? Have everything. There's an absolute mammoth amount of information. Ram it down your throats. I don't think we're going to get that, to be fair, because they don't want to kill FIFA off too soon. FIFA 18 is what I'm saying, by hyping up 19 too much. But it would be nice if we got a lot of information out of it. Expect another video with my reaction to it, but until then, leave your comments of what you'd like to see in the comment section. Smack the like button if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.